It's bad when it's hot, it's bad when it's raining, and right now it's both. So I'm gonna cool off with some cool questions that $5 supporters asked in the month of July. If you'd like to participate in the August AMA, links are below. No questions on Patreon, so let's start on Subscribestar, where Hugesinker asks 2 questions, but unfortunately you only get 1 per month, so I'll just answer the first one. I've heard people say that the reason data center infrastructure is being built up now is because the government wants to use AI to spy on everybody. This seems like a concern more applicable to video cameras being so ubiquitous, but what do you think? Really, the sheer numbers just don't support that. Dedicated surveillance AIs like flock cameras just don't require all that much training, and don't work all that well either. This is very much a game of mix and match. It's really like the older AIs that basically play Where's Waldo. The massive data center infrastructure just isn't suitable for surveillance. It's more like text, image, and video generation, self-driving, space travel, and other such applications. In the first quarter of 2026, the hyperscalers reported over $700 billion in CapEx, with Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft reporting more than $130 billion. And that's not counting all of the tiny expenditures from smaller open source models, such as Black Forest Labs with a comparatively meager $300 million. Not to mention all of the hobbyists making their own models, fine-tunes, and lures. Whereas the entire global facial recognition market is about $10 billion. Not nothing, but not anywhere near what the big AI uses are. There is an overlap, since the same hyperscalers sell to government and law enforcement as well, but government spending on AI is a tiny margin of the overall global market, and local surveillance is a tiny margin of what government spends it on. They've already got all the data centers they need for surveillance. Dickin Myanus asks, if you were in perfect health and needed no medical care, given current state of the world, would you rather be living self-sufficiently off-grid, or would you still choose life in the city? You would still have access to the internet in either place. Explain your answer. Oh, I already don't live in the city. Give me my wife and my internet, and I'm one happy monkey. Sadly, off the grid isn't really an option right now. The tech for solar power can only get you fully off the grid in certain areas. Personally, if I could just have a small RTG I could bury in my backyard under 30 feet of concrete and have it power my home for the next 90 years, that'd do me. And finally, FunwithFacts asks, what are your thoughts on owning invasive species? Should it be legal for people to own animals that will inevitably get loose and wreak havoc on other people's land? Let's differentiate between legality and liability. If your species gets onto someone else's land and causes harm, that's generally where you'd be held civilly liable. You have a distinct victim, a particular harm, and in general, that person can be made whole monetarily. Whereas if your species spreads all over the country and does untold harm to the ecosystem, that's generally where things would cross the line from merely actionable to illegal. You have harm that can't be redressed with mere money. The victims are basically everywhere, and it's more than just a private economic harm. The diffuse harm is where lawmakers generally move from civil to criminal offenses. It's about more than just making a particular victim whole. It's about a public punishment that serves as a deterrent to others and makes the action something more than a mere cost of doing business. The idea there is to prevent the harm in the first place rather than mopping up afterward. If you're asking how this would work in an anarchy, it's basically the same answer. An anarchy is going to have to figure out ways of redressing both civil and criminal matters. Some matters are between private individuals and can be sorted out with money. Others, like murder, arson, or counterfeiting, cross that line into criminality. Whatever system is in place to deal with that could be set towards someone who lets loose an invasive species to destroy the countryside. Different solutions, but absolutely the same conduct. Well, that's it for another month, so thank you so very much for watching. Comments for the comment god, shares for the share throne. Please hit like, subscribe, and the bell, and check out other videos on my channel and like and share them as well. And if you're watching on mobile, do a couple of swipes left and hit hype on these videos. That gets them a real push in the algorithms. And of course, donate.bogosity.tv keeps me doing what I do with PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, cryptocurrency, or become a regular supporter at Patreon, Subscribestar, or Discord to get these videos early and ad-free and participate in live streams and AMAs like this one. Thanks again, and until next time, stay strong and be free.